Good morning and welcome everyone. Councilmember Okimoto, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Also, Councilmember Okimoto, would you please introduce our special speaker for the message of Aloha?
Thank you, Chair. Aloha and good morning, everyone. It is my honor and privilege to recognize and welcome John S.K. Kawe III. He's here as our message of Aloha. I'd like to just give a quick bio on him. He became the 11th president of Brigham Young University, Hawaii in July 2020, making history as the first president of Native Hawaiian ancestry. In his first 5 years, President Kawe has led BYU Hawaii through a transformative period of determination, growth, and renewed purpose, from responding to global disruption to launching bold initiatives in sustainability, education access, and cultural preservation. His presidency has left an indelible mark on the Laie campus and the local and global community it serves. In April 2024, he was sustained as an Area 70 for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In his ecclesiastical role, Elder Kawe serves as an special witness of Jesus Christ and has led the local efforts of the church in partnering with more than a dozen community organizations throughout Hawaii to provide humanitarian aid through the Giving Machine donations and other church-sponsored relief efforts. President Kawe is a graduate of Molokai High and Intermediate School. He is the fourth great-grandson of Kaleohano, who joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Hawaii in 1851 as one of the earliest Native Hawaiian members. I am a former BYU Hawaii graduate and alumni, so I'm really honored and grateful to have you here. The campus is a lot prettier than it was when I was able to be on campus. So I know that you're doing great things. President Kawe and his wife Monica are the proud parents of 5 children. The Kawes love to fish and surf together, and you can find them surfing Dawn Patrol at VLAN or Sunset most mornings. Thank you for being here with us, Elder Kawe.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. Councilmember Okimoto, I'm so grateful for your friendship and for this invitation. I'm grateful to every one of you, members of the City Council. I'm blessed to have worked closely with several of you, had you visit our campus, our community, interacted with you in times of great challenge and great need for the community. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the members of our Laie community. Thank you so much for your service. I have personal experience with leadership, and I understand how challenging it can be, the true sacrifices that are involved, the dedication it takes to have focus on the purpose and the mission, and to stay on that focus and understand the big picture of how to serve the community and the kuleana that you carry. So I just want to, again, express my deepest gratitude to each of you. It was exciting to hear about Aiden Solis and his accomplishment. And I hope that my brief message to you will be a little bit like supersonic and keep you engaged and excited about the important goals that you work toward and the service that you provide. As a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we believe that Jesus Christ's teachings are divine. And our faith teaches us that every person is a beloved child of God, that they're entitled to opportunity, to love, and to safety. And during Jesus' mortal ministry, he gave 2 great commandments. The first, to love God, and the second, to love our neighbor. And it's living these beliefs, striving to follow them, that leads members of the Church of Jesus Christ to act with faith and charity and to serve with kindness. The Church of Jesus Christ, I want you to know, is your partner in serving the people of the Honolulu City and County. I want you to know that we support you and that and I personally ask each member of the City Council, reach out to me. if there are opportunities for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to support the city and county in its efforts. The church is very engaged in humanitarian work. In 2024, the church donated more than $1.4 billion in humanitarian aid worldwide and rendered more than 6 million hours of service collectively. As Councilmember Okimoto mentioned, the giving machines are a significant effort here in Hawaii. If you're not familiar with those, last year we were able to operate 2 here on Oahu and several others on the outer islands. This year, we are delighted to operate 3 locations, and that effort will start in the next few months. We would love your support as we try to identify local charities that can participate in this effort and continue to rally our community to support those charities in their important work. It's exciting as a church and as a community to be able to engage all the different groups that are trying to serve and support them. We also mentioned BYU Hawaii. BYU Hawaii is an important part of the church's efforts to serve Honolulu City and County and the whole state of Hawaii. And it was founded by and continues to be sponsored by the church. And the university over the last 5 years has been very thoughtful about aligning our efforts with yours. The key challenges that our communities face when we think about affordable housing, we think about education and workforce development, sustainability, and the need for a resilient, cohesive, and connected community. The university is engaged in efforts to try to support every one of those things. And I just want to just very briefly tell you what we're doing there. So first, housing. We've been engaged in a major capital projects to build on-campus student housing. Of course, that serves our students, but it also takes students who have been living off campus in the communities of Kahuku, Laie, and Hauula, and opens up that housing for our children, for our grandchildren, to stay home and have access to affordable housing. Our sustainability efforts have been significant. We're grateful to have implemented a solar project that now provides more than 1/3 of the energy for BYU Hawaii. We are working on getting final permits approved for the second phase of that project, which will make BYU Hawaii, the Polynesian Cultural Center, and the Laie Hawaii Temple completely solar powered, drastically reducing the pressure on the HECO grid and making reliable power available for much more of our community. Just one additional effort. In terms of education, we have refocused on how we can serve the students of Hawaii. We've developed a work-study program that is available with priority to Hawaii residents. Students can come to BYU Hawaii and work 19 hours a week, pay a small portion of their earnings back to the university, and then the university gives a scholarship that covers the rest of their tuition, their health insurance, their housing, their food, allowing a student to work 19 hours a week and receive a bachelor's degree with no debt. We now have close to 200 Hawaii residents taking advantage of that program, and we hope that that number will continue to increase. In terms of education, one additional note, we actually just started a construction and facilities management program. It's the only major in construction and facilities management here in Hawaii. And again, we believe that that will give our Hawaii residents the opportunity not to just work in the construction industry, but to be managers in the construction industry, to have much better income, much better stability, and much more sustainable careers as they move forward. So just want you to know that we are your partners, that we're being thoughtful about every aspect of your efforts to improve Honolulu City and County, and that we want to work with you, for the good of this community. Finally, I just want to let you know that the church about a year ago announced plans to build a new temple. Many of you are familiar with the Laie Hawaii Temple. Church has announced plans to build a new one. And temple is a sacred house of worship for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And that temple will serve as a spiritual anchor to amplify our members' capacity and desire to live like Jesus Christ, to serve our communities with greater compassion and commitment. And we look forward to working together as we identify the location and seek approval to build this house of worship. And we understand that it will take collective effort and collective aloha to make this possible. In closing, I just want to testify to you that Jesus Christ lives, that his teachings bring great peace to individuals and to communities. They bring great prosperity to individuals and communities. And I want you to know that it is my faith in Jesus Christ and the members of the church, collective faith in Jesus Christ, that drives our actions to serve this community and to support you. We know that no one of us can make Honolulu City and County better alone. We have to work together. We're grateful for that knowledge, and we are grateful to be your partners and work alongside you, shoulder to shoulder as we serve and try to make this a better place for each one of us to live and for our children and grandchildren and descendants to live. So again, mahalo nui loa for your time, for all that you do. We're grateful to serve with you, and we pray for God's greatest blessings and power to be upon you as you seek to bless the lives of each member of Honolulu City and County. Mahalo.
Thank you, President Kawe. BYU Hawaii, a quality education at an affordable price. And if you haven't gotten the chance to visit the campus, I do recommend that you do so. It is a very beautiful campus. Although, Councilmember Okimoto, the BYU, are they the surf riders? What, sea riders? Okay, does anybody know what Molokai High is? What are they? The farmers, yes. All right. Okay, I have some procedural announcements to make. Although remote oral testimony is being permitted, this is a regular meeting and not a remote meeting by interactive conference technology under Hawaii Revised Statutes 92-3.7. Therefore, the meeting will continue notwithstanding the loss of audiovisual communication with remote testifiers or loss of the public broadcast of the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda, either in person, in the council chamber, or remotely. As both English and Hawaiian are official languages of the state of Hawaii, pursuant to Article 15, Section 4 of the Hawaii State Constitution, Section 1-13 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes, members of the public may testify in either language. For all testimonies offered in Olelo, Hawaii, additional time as may be necessary will be allowed for the testifier to provide English translation of their testimony. Before testifying, each person shall state their full name and the agenda item they are speaking on. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 3-minute presentation on public hearing and new business items, and a 1-minute presentation on all other items. Registered in-person testifiers will be called first. When your name is called, please proceed to the podium and begin by stating your name and the item you will be speaking on. When I call for anyone who has not registered to speak in person, please line up to the right of the podium, and when it is your turn, proceed to the podium. Begin by stating your name and the item you'll be speaking on. All persons who have registered to testify remotely by video conference or phone will then be called. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. When I call for anyone else standing by remotely, please utilize the Zoom raise hand button to indicate your desire to speak. For those joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. The following are some friendly reminders and tips. Video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you are also watching the proceeding on Olelo, please mute your television when you are called to testify. When the timer on the screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks promptly. For those who are joining us by telephone only, I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, press *6 to unmute yourself when prompted. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number, will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please turn off your cell phones for the duration of the meeting. The following item was not posted on the agenda for consideration. On page 16, we have a hand-carried proposed FD1 amendment to Resolution 25-189, accepting a gift of travel, lodging, registration fees, and related expenses valued at $3,100 to the city from the APPI Lead Foundation. Council members Esther Kiaina, Andrea Tupola to attend the 2025 AAPI Lead Summit in Atlanta, Georgia. Copies are available at the city clerk's office downstairs in room 203. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Cordero?
Here.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Here.
Councilmember Kiaina?
Here.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Present.
Councilmember Talba?
Here.
Councilmember Tupola?
AO.
Councilmember Wire?
Here.
Chair Waters?
Here.
Mr. Chair, 9 members are present.
Thank you. Floor Leader Kiaina, any introduction of guests?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'd like to recognize in the chambers this morning Senator Kurt Favela, Chairperson Don Chang for the Department of Land and Natural Resources, the Mayor's Chief of Staff Andy Sugg, Director Andy Cuano, Department of Budget and Fiscal Services, Director Dita Holyfield, Department of Enterprise Services, and her Deputy Director Jocelyn Doan, Director Roger Morton, Department of Transportation Services, Executive Director Amy Asselby for the Office of Economic Revitalization, and of course, many community members and stakeholders, including from the North Shore.
Thank you so much. Vice Chair Tupola, a motion to approve the minutes.
I move that the minutes of the 9th and 10th sessions be approved.
Councilmember Kiaina for the second.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have no testifiers.
Thank you. Members, any discussion? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Seeing none, the minutes have been approved. Moving to page 4, order of the day. The first 2 items on the agenda are the Mayor's Message 104 and 105 to be entered into the Council Journal. Members, pursuant to Section 3-203 of the revised Charter of the City and County of Honolulu, Mayor's Message 104, Returning Bill 22, CD2, FD1 with certain portions vetoed, will be entered into the Council Journal. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers? I believe we have one registered testifier. Pikachu shall be billionaire. Mr. Clerk, is this person present online?
Mr. Chair, I believe he is not present.
Okay. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to testify? Okay. Aloha, please proceed.
Aloha mai kako. Thank you for having me here for the Budget Bill 22. I did find some screwy stuff on there, such as the Honolulu Police Commissioners. I know they're volunteers. There's a full-time salary for 8 people for $491,000. Their salaries is $291,000. When I'm looking at some of your admin expenses, I'm pretty shocked. The income, $2 billion for general funds. The next biggest source is our poop. Our SHIT KUKA is $330 million. Then I'm looking at some of your expenses. The mayor's cabinet looks fine, but when you go to the IT department, which I'm a fan of, their expenses, their salary is $750,000, but their expenses about $22 million. That's more than your construction industry. Your prosecution department, Steve Alm, has $19 million in salaries. How is that possible? Your expenses for litigation is only $600-something thousand. So something's weird, the numbers. I can run the math. I don't have time all day to talk about this. I know we have a limited time, but I do want to sing a song real quick.
Sorry, I'm not going to allow that. Your time is up.
Okay, thank you. I'll go for the next one.
Thank you very
Appreciate you.
much. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have Ms. Natalie Wassa standing by remotely.
Okay, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair, Council members, Natalie Wassa for the record. So I didn't notify you for that. I was going to testify, but it occurred to me that with the mayor's veto, he cut the decreases in the budget. So my question is, how does the budget balance then? Because as you know, we have to have a zero net balanced budget. And it just didn't make sense to me. So I know you're not going to, probably not going to discuss that, but it's a question that I have, and eventually I'd like to know the answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, any other testifiers?
Oh, we have one other gentleman in the chamber.
Okay, please proceed.
Aloha, my name is Carl Dix, and I have a question about the prosecutor's budget. I know there's a lot of cash flow that goes through there with using homeless names. What part of that is that included in those numbers, or would that cash flow where all these citations, hundreds of thousands of citations are written and just blindly dismissed with no prosecution for cash flow? I'd like to know what part of that number that is in their budget, or if that's over and above, because it's millions and millions of dollars every year, unaccounted for, basically. I yield.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who would like to testify on Mayor's Message 104? Seeing none, members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, Mayor's Message 104 has been entered into the journal. Members, pursuant to Section 3-203 of the revised charter of the City and County of Honolulu, Mayor's Message 105, returning Bill 23, CD2, FD1 with certain portions vetoed, will be entered into the Council Journal. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, Mayor's Message 105 has been entered into the Council Journal. Moving to the bottom, page 4, Resolution 25-179, confirming the mayor's appointees to serve on the Ocean Safety Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. I do note that all 5 nominees are here. I'll give you each an opportunity to speak if you'd like. If not necessary, we will be referring you to committee for further discussion and questioning and answering. But if any of you would like to say a few words, please make your way to the microphone, identify yourself, and please proceed. Raquel, that's you. Thank you. Good to see you in person.
Thank you. Aloha, Raquel Achu of North Shore. I'm just very honored and very humbled to be considered for this position. A historical moment for our Ocean Safety Department. I've followed this pursuit of their department for many years and look very forward to helping to provide a strong foundation and a bright future for a group of the most capable and experienced watermen and women in the world, to be able to grow and have a strong foundation for their future of their department and for the safety of our waters and our residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Well said. Members, any questions for Ms. Achu or any of the other nominees? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Wait, Tim Gary, please proceed.
Yeah, good morning. Tim Gary. In regards to Resolution 25-179, I have a no on 4 of the 5, and I'll testify in committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Seeing none. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you so much, Chair. Today we take this important step in delivering on the commitment we made to Honolulu's lifeguards, the first confirmation of the Ocean Safety Commission. This commission is more than just a procedural formality. It's the foundation for independent oversight, long-term accountability, and a direct voice for the frontline responders who protect 227 miles of our island's coastline every day, all year long. Sometimes even when they're not on shift, they're out there. From the beginning, it was clear that ocean safety needed to be elevated to its own department. And I need to give credit where credit's due, because former council member Heidi Tsuneyoshi brought it up many times, and this fight has been long, as the Commissioner Raquel Chu noted. This is why I introduced Resolution 2450 to create this commission. It went on the ballot, it passed, and the commission is to ensure that the department reflects the input and experience of those who live the work and not just oversee it. This is a fundamental step towards grounded leadership and lived experience, and I know that a lot of lifeguards have been waiting very long to have their voices be heard by this commission. So with that being said, I'm hoping that this commission sets a new precedent, one that centers on lifeguard safety, ensures meaningful employee input, and strengthens the integrity of this new department from day one. Here at the council, we're ready to support you guys. We're ready to take your input, your suggestions, do whatever changes we need to do, because even just the department itself is so new, I'm sure there are many things that we could do to further strengthen this department. And it will depend on the strength of the commission. So I'm grateful for all 5 of those who have accepted this, and we look forward to the work you're doing and to partner on the council side. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Seeing none. Resolution 25-179 has been referred to the Committee on Public Safety and the Economy. Thank you for your willingness to serve. Moving to page 5, first reading items. Vice Chair Tupola.
1 second, Chair. I move that first reading items listed on page 5 and 6 of the agenda pass first reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Bill 48 relating to pedestrian malls, addressing pedestrian malls in the downtown Honolulu area. Bill 49 relating to property taxation. Bill 50 relating to property taxation. Bill 51 relating to improvement districts.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any, well, I believe we have a number of registered testifiers, starting with Natalie Wassa.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wassa for the record. So would you like us to testify on all the first reading items?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So I did submit written testimony on bills 49 and 50. 49 is about the homeowner's exemption, and what it would do is increase it by 20,000 for homeowners who are 65 or older. I oppose this. As you've heard me say many times, I'm really concerned about the exemptions that we have for other groups, and they cost us millions of dollars a year. And so those exemptions, the benefit that they receive is subsidized by other taxpayers, and a big subsidy comes from the residential A property. In my written testimony, I did give an example of a property that is paying only $300 a year. It's for a community that has $1 million homes in it. It's a recreation center. That is absolutely obscene, in my opinion. It shouldn't be there, and I ask that you take a look at that and remove that exemption. Next, on Bill 50, I also oppose this bill. It's very similar to Bill 49, except that it's for all other homeowners who live in their homes. It increases the exemption by $20,000. And again, in this written testimony, I provided an example of a credit union that receives an exemption, and they save almost $300,000 this current fiscal year. You know, credit unions compete with banks. There's no reason for them to have an exemption. So all the time we have these exemptions, they increase the costs for other property tax owners. And I ask you to, again, to seriously take a look at that, because we can't continue on this way and see our rents increased or other costs for other property owners. So the other thing I noted about this bill is that it's very similar to number 17, which I found interesting. So those are my comments, and I ask you to just look at those exemptions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Ed Korbisky. Good morning. Thank you for being here. And please, I know you've registered for 2 bills. You can testify on both.
Yeah, Ed Korisky, I represent the Fort Street Mall Business Improvement District Association. I'm in full support of Bill 48, just codifying some of the existing regulations. I want to thank Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for actually following through with us and helping our association. And the other one is Bill 51, pretty much the expansion of the Business Improvement District. As many of you know, downtown is going through a transition right now from office to residential, and we are in severe need of more services. So this is a way that the business, the landowners community can actually provide more services. So we are in support of Bill 51. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Christine Camp. Aloha and welcome.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Good morning, Council Chair and members of the Council. I'm here as a CEO of Avalon Group. We have made huge investments in downtown Honolulu, and we're here to support Bill 51. You know, the downtown is going through a transition, but without the support to focus on cleanliness and safety, it may not succeed. And downtown is too big to fail, and if we don't do anything, you know, the chances of success may not be there. So we'd like your support in focusing on the businesses funding to supplement the city's services for safety and cleanliness. And then also the one last thing is that residents will not be charged, so the homeowners will not be charged in this proposal. And if it doesn't work, you know, the enabling legislation allows us to revisit and let it sunset in 5 years. So thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the testifiers? Seeing none, thank you so much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers on first reading items?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the
Billionaire.
registered.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Clerk?
That concludes the registered testifiers.
Okay.
That
Please come forward if you'd like to testify.
Yes. Aloha mai kako, Pikachu shall be billionaire. I would like to make this short and simple. I like to support the development and the projects. I know when you look over the agenda, it seems simple for improvement districts. When you click on the buttons, then you'll say for 4th Street Mall. I know we could use a lot of improvements in all the districts, not only in 4th Street. So I'd like to support it for everything. And with the remaining time, I'd like to ask Andrea Tupola to help me build a wall. It's in Kanahili Community Center. We made a YouTube video. Can you help me build a wall? It's 700 feet long, 9 feet high, and 12 inches. It's for our community and keiki for all. There's a master plan, and I sent it already. Can you help me build a wall? Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you. Sir, please come forward. If you could start by stating your name, please proceed.
I want to oppose Bill 49 and 50. The real property tax doesn't belong to the city or the property owners. All the lands in Hawaii have allodial title. Now, you folks are not following the rule of law, the Constitution, and the homeowners are getting ripped off. How many years you folks been lifting up the property tax and food tax and all other taxes? I'm wondering right now how much money you folks have in the budget, and even the state, how much money they have in the state from collecting all that money throughout the years. And you folks getting pay raises after pay raises, big time. We the poor people, we the people who struggle every day. You know, well,
Thank you. If you could just wrap up.
okay, aloha.
Thank you. Anybody else like to testify on first reading items? Aloha, please proceed.
Hello, Chair Waters, council members. My name is Mark Anthony Clemente on behalf of the Hawaii Regional Council of Carpenters. Here in strong support of Bill 51. You know, I think we're at a tipping point for downtown Honolulu. As I walk around, you see a lot of vacant and for lease signs, broken windows. As a child, I did karate at Mauna Kea Marketplace, and you know, catching the bus with my uncle, I actually saw a man get stabbed once at the bus stop. And so, you know, we're at a tipping point now where we have Bill 51 in front of us that could really push towards a win-win situation for both residents and businesses alike. So let's breathe some life into downtown. Mahalo.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on first reading items? Saying none, thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Saying none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, the first reading items on pages 5 and 6 of the agenda have passed first reading. Moving to page 7. From the Committee on Zoning and Planning, Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 243 be adopted and Bill 37 CD1 is amended past second reading.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kia Aina for the explanation.
This bill amends portions of the state land use district boundary map, Haleiwa Quadrangle, from the agricultural district to the urban district for certain lands situated in the Haleiwa Special District, Haleiwa, Oahu, Hawaii.
Thank you. I believe we have a number of registered testifiers and probably some unregistered testifiers. So let's start with the in-person registered testifiers. And we'll start with Senator Kirk Favela. Aloha, Senator. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, council members. I'm in opposition to Bill 37. The property owners and the people that bought this property had high hopes for the community in the sustainability of farming. They know when they buy the land, they can wait it out, council, mayor, whoever, start making changes to what they want. How much of you guys really drive on Haleiwa when it's not even a busy day? It takes me 20 minutes just to get from one point to the other, and I rarely visit the area. We had enough trials and tribulations in the businesses and the congestion of Haleiwa. Haleiwa has been struck in by not having plantation being closed down and jobs. We should not be using a change because people like offer up homes and economic development that is not going to be sustainable for our state and our city. Since I've been in that square building, that's all we've been talking about. Senator De La Cruz always talk about how much farmland do we need to sustain Hawaii, and then we're building houses. This is not the time, council members, that we should be changing the law or changing these things that they want because they want to make something shiny and new. What we need is to do and improve the infrastructure. How would you want a sewer system or a sewer plant in the back of your business? These are the things that they're putting before you guys and making all of these beautiful things, but actually walk the district, really do. And we're talking about the country district. Talk to the country folks that is there, that is tired of the changes that is happening to the beautiful community since plantation days. Yeah, we all know have to have some changes. Same like with Ever Beach. Difference between Ever Beach and Haleiwa, we have the expansion for roads. Still congested, still crowded. Haleiwa have zero. And it's not even a road, it's a lane. So I urge you guys to please consider moving forward, not to accept this change, unless we can really say how much of that is really gonna help the community. And here to the community, listen to them and calling me up, because they know I come out for this kinds of stuff. If we're gonna put our money where our mouth is, grow our own food. I'm gonna say this again, grow our own food. Not housing because, oh, we get on housing crisis. We had a housing crisis 30 years ago. That's why we get Ho'opili, and that's why we get Coral Ridge. We're not gonna solve it by taking up all the farmland, prime farmland, and build houses. Because again, we're gonna continue to take food. 90% is shipped in, maybe more. When are we gonna stop the insanity? And we need to show these guys and let them know, use the land for what you bought them for, not come to you guys, not saying all you guys, and probably before you guys, is gonna say, oh, we just wait, we'll wait them out. We'll wait them out, community gonna get older, we can get one council member that's gonna hear our area, or senator or representative, and we can change it. We can change the law anytime we like. They should have never came before you guys. I know we changed the law on the acreage, so you guys bring them to city council. Land commission should have had a whack at this and whack it down. So again, thank you guys for your time. I am in strong opposition to this being changed. Thank you, guys. And that's Bill 37. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you,
Aloha.
Senator. Next, we have Raquel Achiu. Thank you. Denise Antonelli.
Just to clarify, do we have 3 or 1 minute?
Mr. Clerk?
1 minute, okay, I'll start. Aloha, good morning. My name is Denise Santolini, North Shore resident and also a member of the neighborhood board, which voted overwhelmingly against this Bill 37. So I am testifying in opposition. First of all, as I've said before in earlier testimony, this is a discretionary decision on the part of the council, and it's really important that you understand the policy choices in front of you. Second, there are criteria which are highly discretionary, and so you need to make those policy choices, and essentially it's ag versus urban, to be honest. A third thing I would say is essentially the district boundary amendment is essentially irreversible. There's been a lot of discussion by the developer and by DPP to say, wait till zoning, we'll fix it. No, now's the time to fix it. If there's gonna be traffic analysis updated, it should be now available to everyone. Another couple of quick points. One is that the community sentiment, as you know from your inboxes and your phone calls and looking at the testimony, is overwhelmingly opposed. Today, as of now, there are 328 testimonies opposed from the community, from people who know Haleiwa, from people who know the North Shore. Second, the justification that this is affordable housing need is really illusory. There's only a promise of less than 20 units, and the community and the neighborhood board has supported Mill Camp. Mill Camp is a project in Waialua with promise of over 300 units on legacy plantation housing area. So the North Shore is not against affordable housing, but right place, right time, and right developer who is going to follow through on their promises. The last thing I'll say is about the community growth boundary. There's been a lot of talk about if it's in the community growth boundary, we can build it, we can urbanize it. If you look at the North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan, there's a specific section that says not everything in the community growth boundary is meant to be developed. It specifically says that areas within the community ground boundary should also be maintained for open space and agriculture. So I know I'm running out of time, but really appreciate the council digging deeper into this issue and voting no as soon as possible. Mahalo.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, thank you. Next is Zaz Dalin. And then Raquel Achiu. Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Aloha, I'm Zaz Dalin. Mahalo. We should all be concerned of disappearing farmland, especially on the North Shore where the motto is keep the country country. I stand firmly against rezoning ag land to urban commercial business for corporate greed and commercial profit. Haleiwa town is historic. It's only 1.5 miles long, one road in, one road out. It should take 5 minutes to get to the town center, which is where this proposed project is at. The reality is local residents sit in 20-minute traffic just to get to the center of town post-COVID. Post-COVID, traffic in Haleiwa has tripled, and it's not from local residents. It's overwhelming to the point that tourism is making local North Shore residents prisoners in our own backyard. Many Haleiwa residents pick and choose what time to go grocery shopping, surfing, diving, fishing, even commuting to see Ohana and friends just to avoid traffic. There's only one traffic light in Haleiwa, but this proposed development would result in more traffic lights going up. Haleiwa is the gateway to North Shore. The drive from Haleiwa to Turtle Bay should take 30-minute tops, not 1 hour and 15, but that's the reality North Shore residents face every day, no matter what time of day or what day of the week. North Shore is one road in, one road out. Maili was just on fire. Nanakuli was just on fire. August 8th is 30 days away. What happened 2 years ago in Lahaina should have never happened. I do not want to see another fire take away more towns, any more towns in Hawaii due to Aina mismanagement because the state failed the people on many levels. The people do not want this project to be built ever. It's the wrong place, wrong time, and wrong community. The developer bought this ag land in 2015, did absolutely nothing to it, let the invasive weeds grow all these years, when he could have farmed it or let someone farm it, which in return would feed the community. Now we know why it took 10 years for the weeds to be cleared. Andy Anderson waited for the perfect time to rezone ag land to urban for his proposed project, Haleiwa Backyards. This community has lost trust in the developer. At the last meeting here, I stated his last project, Haleiwa Beach House Restaurant, leached toilet water in Haleiwa's only fish pond for months because the developer failed to have a proper wastewater system installed for capacity. The environmental assessment from 2015 should be irrelevant for this project at this point. It's been 10 years. Traffic has tripled since then, and housing has doubled. Haleiwa homes in 2015 were $700,000. Haleiwa homes in 2025 are $1.4 million. Two-bedroom rentals in Haleiwa in 2015 were $1,200. In 2025, those two-bedroom rentals are $2,900. Gas in 2015 was $2.52. Gas now is $4.41. Minimum wage in 2015 was $7.75. Minimum wage now is $14. In 2015, Hawaii imported 90% of our food. In 2025, Hawaii still imports 90% of our food. If you're a teacher, your annual salary before taxes is $48,000 to $64,000. If you're a lifeguard, your annual salary before taxes is $29,000 to $44,000. If you're a hospitality worker in the food and beverage industry, your annual salary before taxes is $31,000 to $49,000. The local people do not want prime ag land rezoned, so 3-story buildings can go up. Not sure the last time you all drove through Haleiwa town, but you will notice there are 0 3-story tall buildings in our town. We already have a shopping center. We don't need another one built behind it. As for housing, think about how many more homes have been built and families have moved here, especially post-COVID. The statistics I just read, Reynolds housing have doubled in 10 years, but the minimum wage and salaries for local residents haven't increased much to match. Outside money is buying Hawaii and displacing Hawaiians and local longtime residents. According to 2020 census, 46.7% of Native Hawaiians or part Hawaiians lived in Hawaii, which is down nearly 10 percentage points from 55% in 2010. It's now 2025. Think about the percentage of Hawaiians living in Hawaii now. I do not know about you, but I'm tired of seeing my friends in Ohana leave and moving off island because they're priced out of paradise. This development says 10% of rentals will be affordable. Affordable in their terms is considered 80% of the median income, but post-COVID, more locals have moved away and more outsiders have moved in. So really, what is affordable anymore? And who is it affordable for? Not locals, not teachers, not lifeguards, not farmers, and not students. We live on an island with limited resources. We're dependent on 90% of imports. Residents here pay the highest grocery prices in the nation. A fraction of land is ag due to housing, hotels, shopping centers, and golf courses. Think about every time you sit down to eat. Everybody loves eating, but do you know where your food comes from? You should want to build food independence. Ag land should be farmed and not rezoned. This is the perfect spot for a community garden in Haleiwa town. Keep the country country. I oppose Bill 37. Mahalo for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Earl Dolan. Take your time.
First of all, I'm from the North Shore. Bear with me 1 second. I always hear this guy on TV talking, and I could never put his face to it. Well, anyway, I do now. Thank you. It's always hear people on the TV I can never do, but I finally met the guy. Guys, I live in Haleiwa since 1959. I've seen the changes there is. We got changes from the roadway. You got to remember now, in Haleiwa town, we got one road coming in, one lane going west, north, the other one's going south. It's a 2-lane highway. We're about the only place in the state of Hawaii has 2 lanes. Now, we put up with the Hawaiian, they put up the shopping center there that came in. They got it through. The shopping center right by the stoplight that was in there, well, they got it through. That is a mess. Right now, trucks. We have 1, 2, 3 different places in Haleiwa on the town drive, on the main drive, that has food trucks. The traffic there is horrendous. It's terrible. Over the weekend, we had 4th of July. Believe it or not, we had over 4,000. Again, 4,000 people was crammed in our town to watch the fireworks and everything else. They look like we're in a stadium or something. But I'm telling you, we love our town. Like they said, it's 1.5 miles from point A, which is a circle, down to Haleiwa Park. I offered you guys to come down on the weekends or even the weekdays when it's just jam-packed with people. You have to come down and see it by yourself. And Matt knows, he gets down there, he sees the problem that we have. The problem is, people, don't close your eyes to us. Don't close your eyes, open it. I've always taught, my mom always told me, when you look at things at a close view, you see what's up in the front of you. Step back, go back to about 10 feet and see what's up ahead. You see a broader picture. This housing they want to put up in the back of Haleiwa town from the stoplight all the way to past Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware has a business right now. They use that road there to bring the cargo in for the store. What's going to happen when these things come in? They're going to have to shut down. Ace Hardware is part of our Ohana down there. They would have to shut down. They got no place to the vehicles to offload. Again, I know Mr. Anderson. I know what's going on the other side, but it's not for me to down anybody. It's me to try to get the words through you people. Open your eyes, please. That's all I'm asking, is for you to open your eyes and look what's in the front of you. Because I know they have a contract going to put sidewalks in. I have no idea how they're gonna do that. It's a tight area as it is. Now you wanna put 160-something homes or condos in the back there? Right now, all I see is one road. You're gonna have to put a stoplight there. It's gonna screw up the traffic more than it is. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Hope you guys open your eyes and see what we gotta put up with. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dahlin. Next, we have Mark Anthony Clemente.
Hello, Chair Waters, council members, Mark Anthony Clemente on behalf of the Hawaii Regional Council of Carpenters. In strong support of Bill 37. You know, we heard a lot about majority of our food being imported, but a majority of our people are also being exported. And so a lot of that has to do with housing. I mean, the state has 1.9 million acres of agriculturally zoned lands. We're talking about less than 8 acres that is being asked to be changed to urban. We have about 5% of our lands that are zoned urban. 4% of our lands can be built, housing can be built upon. So all these things, we just ask that you take into consideration when we talk about our out-migration of locals, our housing crisis, and balancing those things. And mahalo for your leadership on this issue.
Thank you. Next, I'm going to go to registered remote testifiers and then come back, and if there's anybody else who'd like to testify. Oh, I do see Raquel Achud. Would you like to testify now? You were on the list of registered testifiers.
Mahalo, Chair. Apologies for missing the call. The boss is talking to us outside. Raquel Achu, North Shore. Our community is not against housing. We're against projects that no longer make sense. This project does not make sense in Haleiwa given traffic and carrying capacity concerns. There's another potential project in the Mill Camp area that will be affordable rentals, not just a small percentage. And the board supported the revise to the community growth boundary, the North Shore Neighborhood Board. Development has to be responsible. It has to make sense. The North Shore has changed drastically in the past 14 years since the last North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan, where we find ourselves overwhelmed with an already severe invasion of unsolicited, extremely questionable, non-compliant, potentially serious impacts to environment, resources, health, and safety ag lot development. The North Shore as a whole has become what has shown to be no longer manageable for our residents' general way of life. Consider the timeframes and congestions you've heard of in times of travel amongst our own space that people deal with on the daily, but just imagine what will happen in an emergency evacuation situation. An important note to share, the North Shore Chamber of Commerce has also opposed this project, so I appreciate your time and hope that you come up with the right decision for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Clerk, I'm going to go to registered remote testifiers, then we'll come back to in-person unregistered testifiers. So next we have Tia Marie, followed by Larry McElhaney.
Aloha, can you folks hear me?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
Okay, right on. My name is Tia Marie Namahana Masaniai Estrera. I serve as the lead youth organizer with Hawaii Peace and Justice and as a volunteer board member of ALACR-242 Hawaii. Today I am representing myself as an individual, and I am in complete opposition to this bill, which would rezone the agricultural land in Haleiwa to urban use. This testimony is also a lawful notice. That notice to agent is notice to principal, and notice to principal is notice to agent. You are now all informed and accountable in your official and personal capacities that this violates the Hawaii State Constitution, which requires the state protect farmland and food security. This bill does the opposite by opening farmland to urban development and long-term loss. It betrays the public trust. You have legal and moral duty to act in the public's best interest, not for private developers. There's no clear benefit to the community in this proposal as highlighted by other testimonies today in the chamber. This breaks state law and land use law. It violates the law of the district's own guidelines meant to protect culture, history, and environment. It disregards Hawaiian Kingdom and international law, as well as raises U.S. constitutional issues, turning over land intended for Native or rural communities without due process. Spiritually, I am grateful that the opening speech today spoke to Jesus, to God, and what critical role they play in what happens here in Hawaii. Because Isaiah 5:8 warns us, woe to those who add house to house and join field to field until no space is left and the land is taken from others. This bill does exactly that, making room for developers at the expense of community and Aina. Mahalo to the brother who made that comment about this only being 8 acres, because that highlights the lack of understanding, yeah? Not one more acre, not one more project, as Auntie Raquel spoke to, that is not in the best interest of the peoples and of our lands and our future generations. Those who support this bill sided, in my opinion, side with greed over justice, and God does not bless injustice. When innocent people, land, and future generations are put at risk for greed, judgment comes sooner or later, whether by divine hands, law, or people uprising. Finally, I'd like to reiterate that I am in complete opposition of this bill. It violates the Constitution, it breaks your legal duty to the public, it ignores international law, and dishonors spiritual and cultural responsibilities. Please reject this bill, protect the land and your people and your own integrity. E o okihava. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next, we have Larry McElhaney, followed by Natalie McKinney.
Aloha, Chair Waters. Can you folks hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
Yeah, I wish I was there in person with you folks. I couldn't make it today, but as I said, I wish I were there. You know, in the message of aloha this morning, the speaker thanked you folks for your service. And I'd like to echo those sentiments. I really appreciate the service that you folks are providing to our community. It's a wonderful thing you're doing. You know what I'd like to do is I'll just keep my comments real short. Stand on the testimony and the email that I sent you folks. I'd like to thank those of you that acknowledge the receipt of the emails. I appreciate that acknowledgement. Other than standing on my testimony and emails, I would like to thank the hundreds and hundreds of community members that have spent hours and hours writing testimonies and submitting them. Some of the testimonies are just fantastic. I think when Natalie McKinney testifies in a minute, you'll hear another outstanding testimony. When she talked about ag activities in Haleiwa the last time, it was terrific. But the point is, you know, people are putting a lot of effort into these testimonies, and I'm hoping you folks will heed the message. It's really important. You know, there's a lot of shabai going around. You know, there's debates on what the Sustainable Community Plan says, what the general plan says, and it's kind of difficult to sort through the shabai and get down to the facts sometimes, but Professor Antolini is really good at that. She clarified 2 or 3 important points in her testimony a few minutes ago. Make sure that you're not being distracted by, you know, the smoke and mirrors that's sometimes involved in these proposals. If you get to the facts, I think you'll make the right decisions. And, you know, really, it all comes down to common sense, regardless of what the documents say. Common sense. We live in the most beautiful place on the planet, and we're obligated to protect it. And in this instance, the traffic in Haleiwa all along the North Shore is already unbearable. We've passed the limit to the carrying capacity. So to me, common sense tells you, you better stop. You better stop exceeding the carrying capacity. So I'm strongly opposed to Bill 37 and refer you to all the wonderful testimonies and so on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. McElhaney. Next, we have Natalie McKinney, followed by Mike Bickler.
Aloha Chair Waters, Vice Chair Tupola, Zoning Chair Kia'aina, and Council Members Wire, Nishimoto, Dos Santos Tam, Cordero, Okimoto, and Tulba. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify in strong opposition of Bill 37. O Natalie Mihana McKinney Ko Inoa, I am a lifelong resident of Haleiwa, a proud graduate of Wailua High School and the University of Hawaii at Manoa. I am the Chief Operating Officer at Kokua Hawaii Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization founded in 2003 by Kim and Jack Johnson that supports environmental education in Hawaii schools and communities. I have worked at Kokua Hawaii Foundation for 15 years. In 2010, a developer...
Oh, we lost you. You're on mute, it looks like. You might have to unmute. There you go.
There you go. In 2010, a developer bought 7 acres of agricultural land in Haleiwa. The land sits along Achu Lane, just off Kamehameha Highway, Makai of the North Shore Marketplace, less than a quarter mile from the Backyard Gardens LLC proposed project. This developer intended to build 35 homes on that 7 acres. In 2017, his rezoning request from agriculture to urban was brought to the Honolulu City Council. Council members voted on Bill 55 and 56 to rezone the land. The community opposition in 2017 pales in comparison to the community opposition to this current request to rezone from ag to urban by this new developer in 2025 to build a 156-unit apartment complex and 30,000 square feet of retail space. Opposition to the 2017 bill stated that it would set a dangerous precedent for rezoning agricultural land for housing. There were also concerns about Haleiwa's already heavy traffic, which 1 decade later has only gotten worse. That year, the Honolulu Planning Commission also opposed the proposal and recommended the council reject it. In 2017, council members Ikaika Anderson and Brandon Elefante supported committee chair Kimberly Pine's call to defer the bill. Councilmember Braun Minor said the decision demonstrated the council's consideration of public interests. He said, "I hope that tonight's recommendation from the chair and this committee support for her recommendation demonstrates that as council members, we do listen to the public. We do listen to the community." Since 2019, Kokuawai Foundation, we purchased those 7 acres. And since 2023, we have grown over 40,000 pounds of produce on that 7 acres. That's a quarter mile away from the Backyard Garden LLC property. Kokuawai Foundation's efforts are proof that land deemed unfit for farming by developers is aina, and a perfect example of agricultural land being properly used. I welcome you all to come and visit us at the Kokua Learning Farm in Haleiwa and see for yourself. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next, we have Mike Beekler, followed by Tara Rojas.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Beekler is not logged on.
Okay, I do see Tara Rojas available. Please proceed.
Aloha, Tara Rojas, o Tara Rojas Koinoa. So I'm here to call out the blatant deception behind Bill 37. And again, I stand on my written testimony. And I want to, vary just a little bit, just to really hit home that coming to these meetings and testifying and really hoping that you hear what us, the people, the community want. As I spoke up, against for the sewer fee increase. So now you have that got approved. And so that, in addition to the skyrocketing insurance, the utilities, food and gas and sewer, like how many just middle class, or earning $85,000 a year, supposedly 80% of the median income with a $2,000 to $2,500 monthly mortgage, how many of us can actually afford that? So you're selling this, or they're selling this as affordable. It's not, it's predatory. And medium income does not mean disposable income. And so hearing all the testimonies from the community themselves that will be infected about traffic, about just all the issues that this contentious issue, because over the years, the community has pushed back strongly. So that tells you something about this developer and this, person, Andy Anderson, because he has, over decades been pushing through his own, this personal interest against the community wishes. So again, this is on also land that is zoned for agriculture. That's how Oahu and all of Hawaii really got to be how it got to be, through these meetings, through these processes, through this rezoning. So the land of Hawaii was never meant to be developed this way. And especially not rezoning agriculture for food. We need food security. For these are not affordable housing. This is not for the people. This is just for a private developer's interest. So just no to fake affordable housing, no to erasing ag land, no to increase flood risk. So I just want to remind you all, learn from history. In March 9, 2021, right there in the floodplains, that's where the heavy rains overtopped the banks and sending the muddy floodwaters to Haleiwa. So again, know where this land is, know the current situation, know that it's going to be a forever changing the lives of the residents who already live there. Again, each one of you council members who votes yes will be accountable to that HEVA, that the community that you need to represent, that you need to listen to. So you will be in public record and history for voting yes on this HEVA. So vote no and be pono. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to open it up to members in the public who have not testified yet to please come forward. If you'd like, you can start a line going around Senator Favela. Aloha, please proceed. Can you start with your name?
Konahiki. Now, what I have here, this project should be bulk. What I mean is done. First of all, you folks never prove that the ownership that the state have, the city have, or even the feds. Now, I mentioned earlier, you folks are not following the rule of law. The misrepresentation by President William McKinley, the treaty wasn't ratified. Now, 2015, Williamson Chang, University of Hawaii, also mentioned about the treaty wasn't in place. Thirdly, the documents is occupied by you folks. You folks occupying the land illegally. Where is the ownership to show everybody, the entire world, if necessary? Now, the justice memo, can you imagine this? Never legally annex Hawaii. Now, what I have in here, 18 countries recognize Hawaii as the Kingdom of Hawaii. So you folks are really breaking the law. And your folks' police department should follow up. They don't want to answer our complaint, so they pass the buck to the state. Now the state is like a kangaroo court. Anybody face a kangaroo court, they lose. Because why? They're all connected with the state, or even you folks. So I bid you guys aloha and thank you for your time. Mahalo.
Thank you. Sir, in the green shirt, please come forward.
My name is Bob Lino. I'm opposed to Bill 37. Aloha mai kako. So there's two real big questions. The real big one we're talking about here is how much is too much? And we're already there. And this project will add some too much that will really be negatives, big negatives. One of the things that hasn't been discussed is density. If you take a look at Haleiwa at any given area, how many people live there? Let's call it X. If you look at the proposed project and you look at the density of people that will be there, what are we looking at? 5, 10X? I mean, it's crazy. It doesn't fit in the town. You know, Haleiwa is the second largest attraction on the island. 60% of the people who come to Waikiki are visitors to this island. They go through Haleiwa. Haleiwa has this kind of funky magic about it. It's kind of old, it's kind of surfy, kind of whatever. And the most popular building in town is Matsumoto Shave Ice. I mean, that says a lot. So this thing in this town will not serve it. It will change the character of the town significantly. Haleiwa is kind of an eclectic hodgepodge of a little this and that. It wasn't, when it started in 1900, it didn't have a planner, that's for sure. This is a very organic growth process. And this project being proposed, it'd be like a giant sore thumb and a whole lot more people. It just doesn't fit. I mean, okay, so the other really big question is the question of community empowerment. What does that mean? At what point do you say, oh, wow, you know what? Sounds like people don't like that. That's community empowerment. So I don't know where the tipping point is on that, but the question is, the dichotomy here is between community empowerment and political influence. Political influence, I think, because there's so much common sense in what's going on here, it feels like there's a lot of political influence being brought to play into this exercise and this very, very important project. And rather than elaborating more, I thank you for your time. And I don't do a lot of praying, but I'm going to pray for your good judgment today. Mahalo.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Please come forward. Please state your name before you testify.
Hello, my name is Kelvin Hule. I feel like I'm a king kamuali ture and a konahiki. Why? Why I feel king? Chain of command, who's on this island first? Or a kind of first step of doing when you're born, your first crawling, your first education. You go to school, you learn. You guys all learn what? Oh, good stuff. You go to church, learn all the good stuff. So you come to people, places, or whatever, anybody's house, you get respect because you know all the good stuff. Knock on the door, ask permission, all the kind chain of command. That. From him, I think so, from that kind smart kind education. So when people come to other land or whatever, they're going to respect that people over there and they're going to help them out. And some of these kind of people that you came over and whatever, or some other kind of people just don't have to be you guys, but can be some other guys, and they come to the land, and what? These people, they don't think about money, business, any kind. Think about survival, sustainability, and you know what? Keako, he's love it. Because he gave this world to us, for us to live. Yeah. You look at all kind of culture, how they live, and you look at this one culture, hey, your eye gonna open up. I think so. If you get connection with your eyeball, your heart, your brains and all that, and your opu. Because the opu is like this kind of culture. The closet and the icebox. Where was? You tell me. Should do the history. They never had closet, they never cupboard, they never had cupboard, they never had icebox. Oh, they had them, but natural, environmental. They never had to wait for that kind, cargo ship and all that kind of trade. That's why when these kind of people came over here and they said, you know what, hey, we're going to do this kind of kind. And I think they did that to our queen because it's tariff like trade or something, and why they even take Pearl Harbor, and what is kind of annexation, what is kind of McKinley, what kind of person is he? Is he a businessman like Trump or all these kind of business people come in and just like make any kind. And you know what? They're occupying, opposing us, our culture, our language, our religion, our babies, everything. ALOHA. I hope you guys get forgiveness. Yeah, that's the key there, forgiveness. Hey, Trump and Musk, forgive. Hey, ALOHA, forgive me for what I don't know what I'm saying.
Thank you, sir. Would you like to testify, ma'am?
Aloha, my name is Kanani Auri, and I'm born and raised on the North Shore in Haleiwa. I'm not prepared to offer testimony today, but I thought that I should, listening to everyone else's testimony. I did provide written testimony for everyone. I'm a business owner in Haleiwa. I'm also born and raised there, and I'm 43 years old. During my lifetime, I have seen more change in my town than anyone would like to admit or see in their hometown. And people move to the North Shore so that they can be part of our community because it is so special. We raise our people as a community and as a group, and we're able to do that because of the way that it is. We don't have the infrastructure for any more development, and development has been happening under, the guise of agriculture or other items, affordable housing, other things like that. We have land that's split again and again, and homes are built again and again, ADUs, vacation rentals, gentleman farms. And when this is happening, no one's able to actually look at it and figure out what's going on because it's not actually being permitted in a way that's responsible. And I don't think that there's a very good way for us to put a number to what's happening. But what we can do is drive through the town and see what's happening. And we don't have the infrastructure for what's going on. I myself have been there when there's been accidents on Kamehameha Highway. We had a 5-year-old girl that was hit, I wanna say this is about 8 months ago, outside of one of the food trucks. The fire truck was not able to get in, and the reason why is because of our roadways. If you folks add more homes to this area on Kamehameha Highway, it could be catastrophic over time. I ask you folks to do what you guys can do and actually research and allow what's happening in our area to take place first, because there was a large agricultural land sell-off by Dole. And while that's happening, there's homes that are being developed and people that live up that way, and they're not being accounted for at this point because it's not actually zoned as residential. But they are there, and if you're in our town, you're seeing it actually happen. And we need to account for those people and the infrastructure that's necessary to support what's happening there before we approve any more development on top of everything else that's happening. And we actually look to you folks, council members, to do that for us. As community members, we can say what we see, we can say what we feel, and I think there's a general and overwhelming opposition to this bill. But it's up to you folks to actually do the research and help us to make good decisions and vote on our behalf. That's why we vote you folks into office, is so that we don't have to come up with all of that research and come up and testify, because we trust you folks to do what's right for all of us, not for the business and not for anything else. And I'm a business owner. We want more people to come through our town, but not at the expense of anyone's safety, happiness, health, or community. And we're looking to you. So I ask you folks to please dig deep, make a decision that's responsible for us, so that our votes that we make to elect you folks is not in vain. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Please come forward.
Hello, my name is Amelia Gora. I'm one of Kamehameha's heirs of his body from 4 of his children. Anyway, I'm basically a researcher. I write a lot and you know, just reviewing everything that has happened. Because right now, I'm in opposition to this movement of building on private properties. I have the bloodlines of Bernice Pauahi Bishop, and I'm actually one of the next of kin to Bernice Pauahi. So there's a lot of fraudulent issues, and we have a Konahiki system, and that's the caretakers of the land. That's why Roy and Calvin, they are Konahikis. Calvin is also a Kaumuali'i descendant from Kauai, and also he's John Young Isaac Davis descendant, and that's what I am too. I'm a mixture of a blend of so many of the high chiefs, and Haleiwa is the lands of the high chiefs of Ka'uhumanu. So it appears that the state and city and county aren't properly doing the homework and finding about the breaches of treaties, and there's a lot of problematic issues. And Hawaii is documented as the most corrupt state in the United States. And that is true, and it can be shown in research, because I have done more than 40 years of research in history, genealogies, and law. So it appears that the problematic issues are that the laws are totally out of sync, because the people here in the islands fail to follow rule of law. And so that's why I suggested to Elon Musk that there should be a Doge Hawaii, you know, and, you know, looking at all the problematic issues, because we can see it as, because I'm part of the House of Nobles of the Kingdom of Hawaii. And I have the bloodlines, even of John Young, Isaac Davis, and they're all the counselors of Kamehameha. But you folks are operating without annexation, and annexation was lacking because of five senators did not vote in Washington, D.C. for annexation. So there's a lot of documented information. But meanwhile, I think you folks should put everything on hold, talk to the actual alluvial landowners. I'm one of them. I have the bloodlines of Victoria Kamamalu, who was the konehiki of the whole area too. And I have the old maps, and it shows, we can point out where Kamehameha III's family were living in Haleiwa. And it appears the location that you folks are talking about, it belongs to some of Kamehameha's families, Kamehameha III's families. But anyway, you can query and look it up on the internet. I have so much writings, thousands of articles, and purpose is to expose what has happened in the past and what's being done now as an occupier, because that's what the state of Hawaii is. It's an occupier issue, you know. And I think it's a total embarrassment for everybody because the Kamehamehas are still here, and the landowners, we have the deeds of the lands. So I think you folks have to talk with us, and the discussions have to go further, because it's going to be a total embarrassment, because once the world finds out what happened, you know, it's really embarrassing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Please proceed.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say thank you for listening. I just want you all to say no to this bill. Just, you know, I'd have a majority. Just say no so we can move along. I know we have a long day. We're never going to get through this agenda. We got Portugal coming up. I don't know who speaks fluent Portuguese, but we got a gift of going to Portugal. We're going to Japan. We got the gifts there. I've been graduate from Hiroshima Peace University through UH Manoa. I speak Japanese. I'm not sure how we're going through this, but all I want, all the members, because if you guys don't know, we can see you on TV. We can see you on the live stream. We can see when you're rolling your eyes. We can see when you're not paying attention. We can tell when you don't give a flying fudge monkey what the Kukuda got to say to you. I can tell when the neighborhood boys got the same attitude. And I can tell when you guys do care. I can see Augie T smiling. I can see Matt Wire caring. I can see when other people are drifting into space. Salcidos are watching. Everyone else is watching. So please care and actually make like you give a you-know-hoot. Because we took up a long time to come here. From Wahiawa, Haleiwa, traffic sucks. We're all saying no. Senator Favela's saying no. We're saying no. We did this to Isaac Choi. We did this to HDA. Do you want us to keep on doing this every time you guys have a meeting? We will bring the people to say no. We will protest. We will do it peacefully. But please make like you care. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else like to testify? Seeing none, we do have remote testifiers who are unregistered, Mr. Clerk. I see one person with their hand up.
Yes, we have Austin Salcedo.
Okay,
remotely.
please proceed.
Aloha. Well, it's not Austin, it's Calais Salcedo. You know, I oppose this Bill 37 because, number one, we all know this is not a dog and pony show. We vote our legislatures, our council, and our representatives into office to look at the better interests. Now, you gotta remember, Ohikilola was once, even Kehau, there was once a village there, okay? They were displaced, not by choice, but by bombing. That village is no longer there. And there are descendants, there are still living descendants, but no one's listening. We're stewards of the land. When are you folks going to be listening to the stewards of the land? We need to be self-sustainable, which we've been fighting. We all know what the stewards of the land was facing. Unethical hunters, poachers, people that come in your backyard stealing to be self-sustainable. Wake up and smell the roses. Those sheep that's not going to be coming in all the time. So I urge you folks to vote no on this. I oppose it, truly oppose it, because the aiding and abetting allowing gentrification to run over stewards of the land that's trying to be self-sustainable. You folks, all you folks' behavior is unethical behavior. We're not talking about politics. We're talking about livelihood, that people are being self-sustainable. Enough is enough. Gentrification is bringing a word, aloha. There is no aloha when it comes to gentrification, because you folks do not listen to those who's living and being self-sustainable on the lands. Gentrification, different plannings. People that's been seven generation on piggery. They turn around, buy country zoning, build one big structure. Now they're complaining about the people that's trying to be self-sustainable, the piggeries and everything. You knew what you was buying to start with. So I urge you folks all, vote no, because enough is enough. Don't act like you have aloha and you cannot share your aloha with people and steward of the lands. That's what we are. We're not business people. We're self-sustainable, feeding our family generation to generation. Do not take that away from us. So please hear the people on the west side. Enough is enough. We get fires, you folks cannot help. Nobody can help. We're trapped. Enough gentrification on the west side. Enough gentrification all over the island. Self-sustainable stewards of the lands. That's what we need. Not waiting for a next shipment come in. Think about COVID, what happened. How people were scrambling for food. I could feed people. I didn't see the city feeding anybody. I can give my kupuna eggs. I can give my kupunas mangoes. Vegetables that I grow from my own aina, my agriculture. But gentrification is a little too much. Who got their hands in the back pocket? We're not talking about campaigning funds and everything. We're talking about the word aloha and Hawaii. It's gone. When it comes to politics, you folks take that put a sour lemon in our mouths. Enough is enough. We are tired of having to fight for our rights to be self-sustainable on an island. You have to show aloha to receive aloha. Because one day you're going to be coming to me and say, oh, I can't even get eggs, I can't even get this. But whose calling is it? It's all in your folks' hands. Enough is enough. I oppose 37. Stop pushing stewards of the lands on the side. Stop pushing self-sustainable people who's just trying to make a living and put food on the table because they can't get a full-time job or they can't afford houses. Houses is not the problem. Drug addiction is the problem, and we all know it. Stop allowing these one-way tickets, and we all know about that. Don't put a blindfold on agriculture owners or country zoning. Self-sustainable. Put Hawaii back.
Thank you, Ms. Salcido. Appreciate your testimony.
That's all I have to say. It's not a campaign funds. Aole. That's Pilau style.
Thank you.
Don't sell out our community.
Thank you so much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other remote unregistered testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we are in discussion. Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. May I ask a couple quick questions of DPP?
Absolutely.
Mahalo. And I'll go ahead and start as director comes up, or since you're at the mic, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Aloha, Chair, members of the committee, Don Apuna, DPP. And yes, I do have staff here who are very well versed on this project.
Okay, I'll defer to you then on when you want to pull them up versus answer the question, and I'll try to be concise. So how often does DPP process state land use district boundary amendments? I mean, for example, over the past few years, is there an average number?
I don't think it's that many, maybe one or 2 a year, but staff can expand on that.
Mahalo.
Dina Wong will come in.
Hi, good morning, Chair Waters and members of the council. My name is Dina Wong. I'm the Chief Planner for DPP's Planning Division. State land use district boundary amendments, we get them very infrequently. The last one we received was, I believe, in 2018 for BYU Hawaii. So we process those that are under 15 acres.
Okay, just to make sure I heard, so you said the last one you did was 2018?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and that was related to BYU Hawaii doing maybe some construction work to expand the campus or on an existing project?
Yes.
Okay. And then as we're going through that, I noticed in the initial version of the bill, right, there's a analysis from ROH 23-1.6 that seems to be the criteria that's evaluated for boundary amendments. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, that's in ROH Chapter 23. There are 3 criteria or standards that are looked at.
Okay, so I just wanted to hone in on just the discussion of much needed low to moderate income housing in the Haleiwa Special District. So what number of affordable, specifically this is saying low to moderate income housing. So what number of LMI units would be provided for under this bill or required?
Okay, so what's before you now is the boundary amendment to change the state land use district from agricultural to urban. And for this project to be developed, it would need to have a zone change. So under our affordable housing rules that administer the zone changes, you would need 30% of all the units to be affordable, and of those, 10% would need to be to households earning 80% and AMI and below, and then 20% need to be affordable to 120% AMI and below. The zone change could also require, through the unilateral agreement, a greater amount of affordable units, lower AMI units, longer affordability periods. So what actually emerges could be greater than what's in the affordable housing rules.
Okay, so you're citing to the ordinance that would control at a future date if rezoning is put forward, and that would maybe include a baseline. But in terms of what's being decided today, there's no explicit number for us to rely on or look to.
No, it would just be what is required when they do come in for a zone change.
Okay, and then just 2 more questions, Chair. So first, I know a lot of concerns come up about infrastructure limitations and congestion, years and years on the walkways project that is still pending. I think public safety concerns, the flooding was mentioned. I know we saw fires recently in different parts of the island, both, of course, the west side, and then there's one in Kunia the same night. So I guess I'm curious, traffic study-wise, has that been completed already?
One of the conditions in the CD1 is for the applicant to update the traffic impact analysis report and to have it accepted by both Department of Transportation and DPP's Traffic Review Branch, to have it accepted before they even can submit their zone change application.
Okay, so they would need to update the report after this bill, but prior to the zone change application?
If that condition stays in the bill.
Okay. So with that being said, there's not really information at this point today for the city to, and I understand it might be a matter of process, but there's no information today for the city to rely on to assess traffic infrastructure impacts?
I believe the traffic report that was done is quite dated, so that's why it needs to be updated.
Okay, do you know the year by chance? I only ask, I see staff back there.
2015.
Okay, so 10 years ago, give or take. Okay, and then coming back to the boundary amendment conversation, I think one of the concerns too, because this is different than just all the different types of discretionary decisions that we make. You know, like an SMA, right? Someone's coming in to do typically project or on something that's already zoned residential. You know, when we're talking big picture about where, you know, the owner is taking this particular parcel or trying to in the direction, just multi-part question. First, I'm looking at, you know, the recognition of housing being important. I'm wondering when you're looking at that criteria under the boundary amendment section, to what extent agricultural use is factored into that. And if you could provide maybe some analysis on that. And then additional to that, I think the concern is that if the boundary amendment bill that we're voting on today passes or moves forward, understanding that there's still ongoing conversations about the updates and revisions to the North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan. Would a district boundary amendment complicate meaningful review and discussion of what the community growth boundary should be in the Sustainable Communities Plan? Or simply put, would it kind of already dictate the outcome of what that plan should say if we are changing the boundary amendment in this bill?
Okay, I can address, I think the first question was on agriculture and housing, and you know whether this bill before you will further the, I guess, the public welfare of the community. So in terms of housing, I think it's well known that there is a critical need for affordable housing, especially rental housing, and especially for those earning 80% AMI and below. Those are the households that are mostly what we call severely cost burdened. They pay over 50% of their income on housing, so there's not much left for other expenses. And in terms of agriculture, you know, this area is within, in our current North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan, it is within the community growth boundary. It's designated country town. The plan calls for infill development. And so there's always, I guess, you know, trying to balance housing and agriculture, and sometimes they conflict, but in terms of agriculture, there's substantial agricultural lands outside of that boundary.
Understand that point. I know some of the testimony earlier had just referenced that that alone doesn't signal a particular parcel automatically should be suited for development because there's other aspects of maintaining that rural character. Would you say that was an accurate statement, or do you have any additional? And I guess just to clarify, because I see turning to staff too, was that, you know, looking at the character of what's in the plan, all of our plans, honestly, there's different facets and components, and it's not saying every single parcel in a particular area should look exactly the same.
Right. I know in our existing plan, you know, it starts off with the vision, what the community at that time wanted to see, and some of the key elements are really, you know, keeping having Haleiwa and Wailua be the commercial centers and calling for infill housing development adjacent to those areas. There's sections on the country town and what that entails. And I don't know specifically what section the testifier referred to.
Thomas Blair, staff planner from DPP. Just want to add one thing. So DPP made our recommendation in the staff report saying that we believe that this is supportive. Council has the final interpretation of that, of the Sustainable Communities Plan. So your decision in some way will make that final interpretation of is this contrary or consistent with the Sustainable Communities Plan.
Okay, follow.
Councilmember Kiana, followed by Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you, Chair. DPP, for the benefit of the public, as well as for council members who are not on the zoning committee, I just would like for you to clarify both what the Planning Commission has recommended to the City Council, as well as DPP's position on this bill.
DPP is in support of the CD1, which added the condition on the traffic impact analysis report.
Planning Commission.
Yeah, Thomas Blair, staff planner. So Planning Commission added a few recommendations that do not appear in the CD1. One was for increased community outreach. As part of the zone change application, they're going to have to go back to the community, back to the neighborhood board. There's going to be notification of adjacent property owners or owners within 300 feet, I can't remember. And so there will be that continual engagement.
Yes, I understand, but can you clarify, were they in support of the proposal for a boundary amendment? That's what I'm asking.
They voted in
Okay,
support,
you need to clarify that.
They voted in support, yes.
Yes. With regard to the provisions that were recommended, and I just wanted to share with my colleagues, we did receive an opinion from Corporation Counsel that recommended that a lot of the conditions are more appropriate for the zoning change process. But if you don't mind, I'd like to, because there seems to be a lot of confusion between zoning change and a boundary amendment. And I know that it's already been explained that it only comes here when it's 15 acres or less. So while members, you could look at page 1 of the CD1 that goes through the findings of the requirements, I just would like to read it out because it's pretty short. And I'd like for you to run through how you came to your determination. All petitions for boundary amendment shall be reviewed from the perspective of, number 1, contribution to the general welfare and prosperity of the people of the county. Number 2, whether a public issue, need, or problem presently exists to serve as a basis for the proposed amendment. And number 3, consistency with the Hawaii State Plan and the county general plan. I'm quite sure that you looked at this in your review. Can you just go through each of these 3 elements as part of why you proposed that this boundary amendment move forward?
Yeah, so number 1 was contribution to the general welfare. We thought that it was more fitting that it was in urban over agriculture based on some of the proposal, the applicant's proposal in their report, as we also reviewed it against the general plan and the North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan. Number 2 was whether public issue, need, or problem persists, presently exists to serve as basis for the proposed amendment. We've talked about, in our report, we talked about, and as Gina Wong just mentioned, the need for housing, particularly on North Shore, particularly for people who are extremely cost burdened, that this housing will meet that need. And then number 3, consistency with the Hawaii State Plan and County Oahu General Plan. In our report, we kind of identify the relevant policies for all of those plans, and we go through.
So last question. While there has been considerable community opposition to this bill, has the applicant satisfied all of the considerations for a boundary amendment?
I think the department still sits on our testimony that we're in support of. Yes, they have presented this, and we have accepted and submitted our testimony in support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you. A few follow-up questions for DPP. Councilmember Wire asked, is ag use required on the parcel? Is there a clear answer for that?
Like as currently, like are they currently forced to practice?
No, so we're doing a boundary amendment, correct? So we're talking about housing and whatnot. In the event that it moves that direction, is there any ag requirement?
For the state, there is no proposal or condition of approval that we're submitting right now that would require any agriculture component.
So no?
No.
Okay, thank you. And the next follow-up is, he asked a question about the traffic study, and that's not going to be discussed today. That's if they do a zone change, correct?
that if they do a zone change, that document would have to be updated from 2015, correct?
Yeah, prior to them coming in for a zone change, yes. That is what we're requesting.
So if the traffic study is found prohibitive, what happens then?
We would look at the size, the number of units that were proposed, what if there's a capacity that's identified in that, what mitigating efforts would need to be taken.
Okay. Next question. Aside from the traffic, many questions were brought up about infrastructure, wastewater, sewer. Is that also required prior to any type of zone change?
Yeah, so the zone, at this stage, I know that the community has a proposal for 154 units and some commercial space. That might not, we don't know at what degree that will actually be created. As we get further along in the process, so moving towards the zone change process, we're supposed to get a clear image. The proposal that is before everybody right now is for the community's benefit so that they can better visualize what could be there.
I just want to know about the infrastructure. So before any zone change, is there going to be any type of required study regarding wastewater, water, et cetera?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So with their zone change, hopefully they'll have a better account of numbers, or those numbers could remain the same as they are today, and they will have to identify the infrastructure needed for those numbers, yes.
Last question. In regards to this, which we're not voting on a project today, we're not voting on the housing or what type of housing, we're voting on a boundary change. In regards to this, is it possible that the applicant is not the person that gets chosen for the project, or by doing this boundary change, are we then connected to whoever applied?
No, yeah, so this is running with the land. So we are just saying today that this 8-acre portion between Kamehameha and Joseph P. Leong Highway is better suited for urban. So he could sell the land, the city could assume the land. We're just saying today.
But it's not for any particular developer.
Correct. That's why we kind of removed, we're in support of CD1, which removed some of the conditions, because we don't know what will be developed until a zone change comes about.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further questions for DPP? Seeing none, any further discussion? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, just for discussion, I do appreciate the responses, the work of DPP, the analysis. I don't think there's a whole lot else I could say besides, than what was presented in the testimony today, because I think it was extremely compelling, included a lot of historical, generational community knowledge, both about the unique aspects of this particular parcel and just the broader implications. Of course, my preference would be for the measure to be deferred, but if it was going to be put up for a vote today, I'd be voting no. I'm thinking that it's premature to entertain this conversation prior to finalizing the North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan that's being finalized right now, understanding that there's varying degrees of input being provided by the community. I think we've seen testimony, from Natalie from Cocoa Learning Farm about how agricultural land in this particular area can be viable and can be utilized. And, we've seen over the years just the great number of agricultural land being lost. I think also there's infrastructure concerns that were brought up and continue to be an issue. And in looking at the traffic study that's stated and going forward, I think where we're at in terms of today, there's just not enough information to suggest that, this project wouldn't have, or the implications of the bill wouldn't result in a project that would have negative impacts on the community. And so just wanted to share that, Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I look forward to another discussion in committee. I've been on zoning for like 1.5 meetings, so I do think looking more into this, I do not support any particular developer on this, and I do think that conversation is further down the road. However, I do think that, some of the requirements for the housing AMIs is still very high. And I know this because in my community, we need way below 80%.
and 80% is still very high. Secondly, I think the ag use, the traffic study, the infrastructure, all of those are concerns, but I know we have one more discussion coming up in committee, so I'll save my research and some more information from the community till then, but I thank all the testifiers who have called our offices, emailed, and come today. We are reading, we are listening, trying to figure out exactly what would be the best based on the information we have. So for right now, I'm in support until I can get a little bit more grip on it in the committee hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you, Chair. I'm concerned that we are trying to split hairs on this, and we've had a discussion about, as DPP put it, whether this fits within the state LUC boundary or not, and that is exactly what we're voting on. And yet, there are at least 2 other, potentially 3 other plans that kind of govern this area. As I asked in the previous zoning committee hearing when I was a member of the zoning committee, the misalignment of the state LUC boundary and the North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan and the Haleiwa Special District Plan is why we're here today. And I've asked DPP in that hearing whether there's other instances where this misalignment is happening, because what's going to happen in the future, every time that these things are out of alignment, is we're going to have to drag the community through this every single time. And so as we frame today's discussion as whether it is simply an LUC boundary amendment, we've heard that it runs with the land. So we are deciding, so I think the problem is that we want to have it both ways. We want to be able to say, well, you know, we're not voting on this exact project, so we're going to, you know, vote on just the State Land Use Commission boundary amendment. But this is the project that's before us, and I think we need to have an honest discussion about the merits or dismerits of it. And I think that trying to split the hairs is not the exercise that we should be doing today. And I'd much rather have a much larger discussion about the areas where these various plans are not in alignment. And so this is going, since I'm not a member of the zoning committee, this is going to be a task for the zoning committee, I suppose, to go through. But this is going to happen again and again and again in the future. And to Councilmember Wyer's point, as they go through the North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan, I hope that DPP will be mindful of the fact that if areas are included within the plan for certain uses, whether that's for housing or preservation or what have you, that they should be in alignment with the other guiding documents for the area, because again, we're going to keep finding ourselves in this exact position. So just wanted to get that out there because I think that, again, framing this as just the vote for the state LUC boundary is a little bit of a technicality and a little bit of splitting hairs.
Thank you so much. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
WR.
Councilmember Kiaina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Reservations.
Councilmember Tauba?
Reservations.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wyer?
No.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. CR 243 has been adopted and Bill 37, CD1 has passed second reading. Members, it's now 12 o'clock. Shall we push forward? Okay. Turning to the bottom of page 7 from the Committee on Budget, Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that CR 236 and Bill 41 be recommitted back to the Committee on Budget.
Councilmember Kiaina.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
CR 236, Bill 41 relating to permit fees.
Okay. I believe there was a mistake on the numbers in the motion according to DPP. Thank you for that, though. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 236 and Bill 41 has been recommitted back to the Committee on Budget. Moving to the top of page 8, also from the Committee on Budget, Councilmember Okimoto.
I move that Committee Report 237 be adopted and Resolution 25-172 CD1 as amended be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Okimoto for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of transportation, lodging, meals, and registration fee to the city from the National Association of State Procurement Officials, NASPO, for 2 staff members from the city and county of Honolulu to attend the NASPO REACH Conference and training event in Denver, Colorado from July 22nd to 25th, 2025.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have Calais Salcedo standing by remotely.
Okay, please proceed.
Aloha. Okay, let's see. This one, is this the gift given?
Yes, this is a gift to the city.
Okay, the gift to the city. You know, I'm really, hearing a lot of gift to the city. And the thing is, when you go on travel, it's supposed to be like a workshop or something, for the city councils and everything. But they never come back with a report. What? With the report that they want to learn to share with the community. Because this is gift giving. But we all know the money goes to a certain bank and it rotates. We all know that. It rotates and it comes back in a different form as a gift to the city for traveling and everything. But we never get any report. What was the workshop about? Anything. I think, the community definitely deserves to hear what was the report, what type of training they had, instead of just, gift giving. Because we need to know, we cannot only be on the sideline and approving everything. So with that said, I'm against this gift giving because not once they had ever reported.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Are there any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Mr. Kawano, I saw you walk in. If you could just explain for the public what this gift is for, and are you going to do a report?
Thank you, Chair Waters. Good morning, honorable council members. Andy Kawano, Director of Budget and Fiscal Services. Yes, this gift from NASPO is a way to help us continue to train our buyers in purchasing. So we're sending 2 of our section leads to the meeting to network, to receive training, and to develop contacts with other buyers for other cities and state governments. We think it's a good thing to help them to grow and perhaps even learn how to do things differently and more effectively.
And thank you. And then you will do a report, correct?
We're ready to do one when necessary, yes.
Okay, thank you. And then perhaps you could tell Ms. Salcido where to find that report.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Could you tell Ms. Salcido where to find that report?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll post it when we do it, and it can be found at the council's website.
Okay, thank you so much. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 237 and Resolution 25-172 CD1 has been adopted. From the Committee on International Legal Affairs, Councilmember Nishimoto.
I move that Committee Report 238 and Resolution 25-174 be adopted.
Second.
This is accepting a gift of travel and related expenses.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded as well as explained. Do we have any testifiers? I believe we have one registered testifier, Shelby Pikachu, billionaire.
Aloha man kako, Pikachu, Shelby, billionaire. I knew it would just be me out of entire planet Earth. I would have to be the one to find this resolution to talk about Portugal. Now, I've actually been there once, like typical wine guy, I went looking for Portuguese sausage in Portugal, in Lisbon, the capital. I did not find any Portuguese sausage in Portugal. I went to their famous port, and you can Google it, and they had branzino. That was their delicacy. So as a local kid, I don't speak any Portuguese. Like obrigado is like arigato. You know, Brazilians do better jiu-jitsu than my Portuguese, because we're Portuguese like Augie and I. We don't speak any Portuguese. There ain't no Portuguese sausage. So I'm looking at all the foods and the grills, because you got a nice gift, $3,300. Hallelujah. I looked to be agenda for flat. It's in Portuguese. I don't read Portuguese, but luckily you got subtitles. The reason why the Salcedos are honest about the report, because if you guys sent me with a budget, I know guarantee you guys want me to film, document, live stream, and you guys want to report. What are we getting? What are the benefits? What are the results? Same thing with Japan, which the next resolution I'm going to testify on. That budget's not enough. But for $3,300, you should add me and double that budget so I can go too. Thank you. Obrigado.
Thank you, sir. Any other testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 238 and Resolution 25-174 has been adopted. Councilmember Nishimoto.
Thank you. I move that Committee Report 239 and Resolution 25-177 CD1 be as amended be adopted.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded.
This is accepting a gift of airfare and train transportation.
Thank you. For the Youth Commission. Mr. Clerk, do we have any discussion? Excuse me, any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one registered testifier.
Okay, please proceed.
Chihu. It's me again. Konnichiwa. 僕の名前はピクチと申します。はじめまして。どうぞよろしくお願いします。広島市立大学卒業しました。その夏、UH Manoaで。I graduated from UH Manoa. And I also went to Hiroshima Peace University. I speak Japanese. So I want to know who's going on this magical trip to Hiroshima. My family's from Hiroshima, Gambak Dome. We can talk about Osaka, Okonomiyaki yori Hiroshima no hoga ii. What I'm meaning, Dokoga TV, all Japan. You guys want to come out? The Hiroshima Okonomiyaki is better than Osaka because Osaka only has cheese. They don't add the pork, the buta. If you're Jewish, go to Osaka. If you're not Jewish, you should go to Hiroshima. They got great food, great stuff, and you should talk about it because they're what they say in their peace program. When I graduated over a decade, 20 years ago, when I graduated, their plan in Japan when I graduated was we want them to remove all the nuclear weapons on planet Earth, and that's what we had to graduate on. They didn't like my argument because you'd have Saddam Hussein with uranium who could make a bomb. So Japan's plan is to remove all the nuclear weapons on planet Earth and take it off. That doesn't work in reality. Thank you very much, but you should still send me. And your budget's not enough. $1,000 is not enough for a round trip. For a bullet train, you got to fly into Tokyo. $1,000 gift is not enough. Zettai tarine. Food, inflation, $1,000, you're going to be negative. And we'd still expect a report. Hopefully someone speaks Japanese and can read the kanji. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do I have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 239 and Resolution 25-177 CD1 has been adopted. Councilmember Nishimoto.
I move that Committee Report 240 and Resolution 25-181 be adopted.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Nishimoto for the explanation.
This is for additional funds for the legal services of Lynn Panagakis.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
No. Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, any discussion? Oh, Tim Gary, please proceed.
Good afternoon. On CR 240, I had some questions. There was an article in Civil Beat about us paying attorney's fees for guilty city officials. I was wondering why we always hire the most expensive lawyers for this. Why aren't they being given a public defender, Chair? They did the math in Civil Beat. We came out negative even after the fine by the federal government. Why are they entitled to the best lawyers in Honolulu? $104,000, supposedly the best lawyers, and they lost the case. This is taxpayer money. Can I just go a little?
Yeah, please, if you could, wrap up though.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
it's also, it's for Donna Leone and also for Max Sword. And Amamiya, over $250,000 for lawyers. I thought we were going to adjust and correct this so that when somebody does something illegal and works for the city, we don't get stuck with the bill all the time. Even the former chief hasn't paid back the $250,000. Why are they entitled to the best lawyers? Why not a public defender? There's some of the questions maybe some of you can answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Seeing none. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no, sorry,
vote for me.
Councilmember Okimoto.
No vote for me, please.
No vote? Okay. Any other reservations or noes? Seeing none. Noting the no vote of Councilmember Okimoto, CR 240 and Resolution 25-181 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 10, Councilmember Nishimoto.
I move that Committee Report 241 and Resolution 25-182 be adopted.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Nishimoto for the explanation.
This is for additional funds for the McCorston Law Firm.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion, members? Seeing none. Councilmember Okimoto.
No vote, please, Chair. Thank you.
you. Noting the no vote of Councilmember Okimoto, CR 241 and Resolution 25-182 has been adopted. Moving to the bottom of page 10 from the Committee on Zoning and Planning, Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 244 and Resolution 25-78 CD1 as amended be adopted.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution grants a special management area major permit to allow for acquisition of an additional easement, construction and installation of physical improvements, and the implementation of a strategic management plan at the Kaiva Ridge Trail in Lanikai, Oahu.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion? Councilmember Kia Aina.
Thank you. Chair, you know, this has been a very long process, I know, for the State Department of Land and Natural Resources. Earlier, I know that the chair was here, but I understand that we have Merrick Gold, who is the, she is the DOFA Oahu manager. So I want to thank her and her team for the 8 years that they have been working on this project. I was pleased that after my concerns that I expressed about the a better accounting of the number of current hikers as well as projected hikers, that in their communications that they have submitted on this measure, that they've actually taken that to account. That's going to be critically important for both the Department of Planning and Permitting as well as DLNR and the stewardship organization to make sure to mitigate impacts on the communities. Lastly, I just wanted to say that as the chair of the Zoning and Planning Committee, this is the first instance where we have actually identified in the resolution the continuing practice of Native Hawaiian traditional and customary practices taking place on Kaiva Ridge. And of course, this is the practice of hula. So I'm pleased that conditions were included in the resolution to ensure the protection and preservation of this important cultural practice. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Aye. Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 244 and Resolution 25-78, CD1 has been adopted. Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 245 and Resolution 25-155, CD1 as amended, be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution grants a special management area major permit to allow for the construction of 4 single-unit dwellings, additions to 3 existing dwellings, new individual wastewater systems, and new accessory agricultural structures in Hau'ula, Oahu.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 245 and Resolution 25-155, CD1 has been adopted. Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 246 and Resolution 25-168, CD1 as amended, be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution grants a special management area major permit to allow for the construction of a second-story addition to an existing single-unit dwelling and the installation of a new in-ground hot tub in Kailua, Oahu.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 246 and Resolution 25-168, CD1 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 12, balance of committee reports. Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that the balance of committee reports be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice
I
Chair Tupola for the explanation.
request for authorization to settle claims against the City and County of Honolulu by Gentry Waipio Community Association.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, the balance of committee reports are adopted. There being no unfinished business, new business. Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that resolution 25-171 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of 75 Hydra POC portable radios valued at $26,073.29 to the city from the Honolulu Zoological Society.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion? Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you. Hi, this question is for Director Hollifield relating to the types of cellular portable radios. Hi, Director Hollifield. I was just wondering if the radios are meant to also connect with public safety or dispatch.
So the radios, good morning, by the way, Chair. Good to see you, sir. The radios are going to be for safety and welfare so that we are more modernized. We had never actually even owned any first generation and brand new radios and have just been handed down from the fire department and different departments. So we're excited to have brand new radios that will be connected. Every single person that will be on staff every single day will have access to a brand new radio. So we'll increase communication, safety for not only the people that come to the zoo, but for our employees.
Thank you. I know that the radios have island-wide reach or capacity, so I was wondering if they are going to be connected to public safety agencies or dispatch.
So currently we don't have a plan for that, but we did meet with the Honolulu Police Department. We're trying to see how we can integrate, especially in times if there's an animal that has gotten loose or we have some kind of an issue in the community. I also want to thank Mary Benson, the Executive Director for the Zoological Society, for donating such a generous gift financially to support the zoo.
Thank you. And because of the different exchanges, like the from either the fire department or the police department is the reason why if the Hytera are then able to connect to, I forgot what other brand those are, but those other type of push talk over cellular portable radios.
I mean, obviously, we have communication through cellular as well. We are working through our CIP projects and through our general fund. We're going to be funding some telecommunications projects within the next 2 years.
Okay, great, thank you. As long as they can all talk, because at a certain point, we've seen the different sea level rise, and the zoo is definitely within that area, and just if they're able to speak to public safety agencies and just connect, I mean, it would be critical. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Noting none. Resolution 25-171 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 13, Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that Resolution 25-175 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of $2,732 to the city from HA Sustainable for our 4 representatives from the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency to attend the 4-County Sustainability Network in person, convening on Maui from July 17 to July 18, 2025.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Noting none. Resolution 25-175 has been adopted. Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that Resolution 25-178 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of fresh foods valued at $2,400 from HFA to the Honolulu Emergency Services Department, HESD, in appreciation of emergency medical services personnel.
Thank you. Do we have any testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Seeing none. Resolution 25-178 has been adopted. Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that Resolution 25-180 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of travel, lodging, meals, and material expenses valued at $9,771 to the city from Bloomberg Philanthropies for the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Revitalization, Deputy Director of the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency, and Program Administrator of the Department of Transportation Services to attend the Bloomberg Philanthropies 2025 Global Mayor's Challenge Ideas Camp in Bogota, Colombia from July 19th to the 25th, 2025.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion, members? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 25-180 has been adopted. Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that Resolution 25-183 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of $231,000 to the city from Bumper Productions LLC to support Honolulu Ocean Safety Department's Tower Replacement Project and Ocean Rescue Programs for HOSD personnel.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none. Oh, excuse me.
Aloha, Mr. Gary, please proceed.
Yeah, this is a generous donation to ocean safety. Too bad it had to happen. Because of inadequate state legislature and slow moving of the film studio in West Oahu, we've lost all our revenue from movies and television series. This is by default a donation because of inaction by our policymakers. I would have rather had the television series continue instead of having them do a tax write-off by giving the 2 towers and the miscellaneous power paddle boards and stuff to ocean safety. This is a loser. This is a loss. We dragged our getting the film studio going to where other entities, Las Vegas, Atlanta, New Zealand, took all our films, took all our TV. This is indicative of a loss because of inaction. And I was encouraged that Governor, I believe I read it wrong, vetoed and is going to try to get the tax credits back for the industry. But there's a lot of people suffering on this island because they have no work. And they were making good money. A lot of them are making over $100,000. But because we dragged action on this, we lost out. And these productions, they don't just pop up and start filming. They budget this stuff out into the future. And they look at what happened here. They don't want to do business with us. So it's great for ocean safety that they got 2 towers and some used equipment, but it's devastating for all the people in the film industry. These people are struggling right now, totally struggling. And there was a lot of side businesses, catering, stuff like that, that weren't directly involved with production. They're struggling. We need to be a little bit more foresightful in what we do. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Any further testimony? Seeing none, any discussion? Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you. I would like to ask if we have someone from Ocean Safety here. I saw the director here. Oh, okay, he's still here. Hi, so first my question is relating to the towers itself. I know that in the past budget cycle, or maybe 2 budget cycles ago, we were discussing how we have to wait for certain towers to make its way here, and there may be a certain vendor that we use. So I was wondering, and I've asked this of other agencies as well, when we do get gifts, if they match the expectations of the facilities or materials that are being donated. So how do we ensure that the lifeguard towers are up to par to what Ocean Safety approves?
Thank you for that question. Good afternoon, Chair and Council members. Kurt Lager, Director of the Ocean Safety Department. A couple years ago, prior to the TV show starting their filming, they came and visited our headquarters and toured our facilities, looked at our lifeguard towers, and they in fact went to the exact same vendor and purchased the exact same towers that we use and that we order from. So it's the exact same dimensions, specifications, and everything, including the other miscellaneous stuff, rescue boards, rescue tubes. It's pretty much exactly what we have, just some of it's logoed a little bit differently.
Thank you, that's great to hear. And Director Lager, I was just wondering, does the department then still retain the autonomy of where those two towers end up going, or is it incumbent on the gift as well?
Yes, we do retain where we're going to place the towers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 25-183 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 15, Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that Resolution 25-187 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of 4 specialized benches in the shape of cows, each featuring unique finishes valued at $8,411.96 to the city from the Honolulu Zoological Society.
Thank you. Do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion? Councilmember Cordero? No? Okay, thank you. Any objections or reservations? Seeing none, Resolution 25-187 has been adopted. Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that Resolution 25-188 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Accepting a gift valued at $9,600 to the city from Pacific Air Cargo, LLC for the air freight for the prefabricated animal shelter fencing from Los Angeles to Honolulu.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 25-188 has been adopted. Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that Resolution 25189 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of travel, lodging, registration fees, and related expenses valued at $3,100 to the city from the AAPI Lead Foundation for council members Esther Kiaina and Andrew Tupola to attend the 2025 AAPI Lead Summit in Atlanta, Georgia.
Thank you. Is there a motion to amend?
I
Vice
move
Chair
that
Tupola.
Resolution 25189 be amended to the hand-carried FD1 OCS 2025-0564-7/3/2025 4:15 p.m.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation of the amendment.
The amendment just amends the amount that is being given from the AAPI Lead Foundation.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, yes, we have one remote testifier standing by.
Okay, Calais Salcido, please proceed.
Aloha, Chair. You know, I understand about all this traveling, but you know, you can't just go on travel and judge, you know, and look at where they're traveling and try to bring back to Hawaii. Hawaii is a totally different animal. You know, traveling, what type of education are you really doing it for? You know, you go in and traveling, it's all right to travel, but the point is, what does Hawaii benefit from this traveling? You know, for example, you know, they said the ozone is changing. We all know that, you know, but what are they bringing back to better the island of Hawaii? You know, traveling, all this, but you gotta study the Hawaiian Islands first before you go out. Do not bring the mainland style and bring it here and shoving it down people's throat. That's unacceptable. You need to look what's in front of you. The traveling on this, you know, it's just a waste of money, tell you the truth. Study the island. Study our economy, what we have here. Don't bring back the mainland style and then try to change Hawaii, because that's where we lose the aloha, because of all these type of gentrifications coming in. And we supposed to accept it. What they call paradise, this is our home. Stop adding and abetting the, you know, allowing things to continue taking over the homes of people that born and raised here. Work for the people. Do not work just to go play hanky-panky and waste of money, because that money can be used for something else in Hawaii. That's all I have to say. I'm very disappointed in all this money flying all over the place and nothing benefit in Hawaii. Study your own island before you study other people. Mahalo.
Thank you. Any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Any discussion, members? Councilmember Kiaina.
Thank you, Chair. First, I just wanted to state that I'll be filing a statement of disclosure as I am on the board of the C4 for this organization with Senate President Ron Kochi. I also wanted to say that for this organization, which is for Asian American and Pacific Islander elected leaders across the country, out of 200 to 300 people who had signed up for this summit, about 2 weeks ago, I was notified that I was the only Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander that signed up. And as a result, the foundation sought a sponsor to increase the number. So I respectfully disagree with the previous testifier on the need to learn. This is about representation. Very often, when we are lopped in either the Native American or Asian American category, Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders are often overlooked, yet our data, which are dismal with regard to educational and health social conditions, are always used. It is our job to be present and represent it, and I'm glad that several more Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders from the state of Hawaii will be attending this conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I also want to just echo the sentiments of my colleague. I wasn't aware of this, but she made me aware that there wasn't any Native Hawaiian representation. It's important for us here in Hawaii that we don't get overlooked, that we don't get passed up, that we have our voices be heard, not just on the local level, on the state and the federal level. This is actually why we continue to fight for scraps, because we're not out there being able to fight for what we know that we need for our people. So I would respectfully also disagree. I do think that the kind of learning that we do here in Hawaii valuable, and I do it on an ongoing basis all the time. Very rarely do I find the need to travel abroad to bring that information back, as much as being able to have a wide perspective. So I'm grateful for this opportunity, and of course I'm hoping that what we learn and of course what we advocate for will benefit our city and county. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objections or reservations to the motion to amend? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 25-189 has been amended to the hand-carried FD1. Any objections or reservations to the council waiving Council Rule 19G? Noting no objections, the 48-hour notice has been waived. Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting none, Resolution 25-189 FD1 has been adopted. Moving to the bottom of page 16, Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that Resolution 25-190 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of travel, ground transportation, lodging, and meals valued at $3,700 to the city from the Honolulu Festival Foundation for a representative from the Office of the Mayor to attend the Honolulu Festival Foundation Goodwill Mission Tour to Hirosaki, Nagaoka, and Tokyo, Japan from July 31st through August 4th, 2025.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have one registered testifier in the chamber.
Pikachu shall be billionaire. Please proceed.
Chihu, love to hear my name. Arigatou gozaimashita. You should definitely send me on this trip to Goodwill. I have no idea where we're going or who's going to send this for $3,000. That's a good enough budget. However, if you're going to go to multiple cities, can you catch the bullet train? Have you guys been there before? Who's going to go? I want to ask these questions before. It's pretty silent in the room. I said in English, for those who don't speak Japanese, if you speak Japanese, please raise your right hand. That means nobody in this room speaks Japanese. How are you going to have goodwill participation if you don't speak Japanese? Zenzen dame da yo. And we're talking about Salcedos, we're talking about Menchie, we're talking about King Kalakaua, who wrote a treaty with Japan, Nippon, in 1871. His name is not Meiji Emperor if you Google like the Meiji candy and Don Quixote. His last name is Mutsuhito. That's his real last name, who signed our treaty with Kalakaua Rex right down the road at Hawaii Star Archives. We can trade with Sakamoto, which is Bitcoin. We can do cryptocurrency. We can do a lot of trade. Their farming agricultural ways are way better than ours because they hook the mangoes up, covered in the plantation, and they catch in little plastic thingies so the mangoes and stuff don't drop to the ground. Their grapes are like $20. Their peaches are like $50 because they're taking really good care of their agriculture like Israel does. So you're going to send people to Japan. I hope you're going to learn those kind of ways to bring it back. Aquaponics, fishing, and how we can do better produce. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Seeing none. Any discussion, members? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 25-190 has been adopted. There are no items for the Committee on the Whole. Are there any announcements? Councilmember Cordero, followed by Councilmember Wire.
Thank you. I just want to, I have everyone's birthday noted down, so I do want to wish Floor Leader Kia Aina happy early birthday next week. Thank you.
Happy birthday. Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to welcome one of our summer interns, Mason Punasaki, rising senior at Iolani. Mahalo.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other announcements?
Just real quick.
Councilmember Tupola, sorry.
Yeah, I also wanted to acknowledge that I do have an intern here. She just started with my office, Melanie Zhang. If you could say hello. Where is she? Oh,
Right
she's right here behind me.
Awesome. Any further announcements? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
And I'd like to welcome intern Julia Sains.
How's that? Okay, thank you, members. Vice Chair Tupola for the adjournment.
I move that the meeting stand adjourned until Wednesday, August 6, 2025 at 10 a.m.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any objections? Seeing none, the council stands adjourned until Wednesday, August 6, 2025 at 10 a.m. Thank you, members. It is now 12:45.